This is Fantasy Baseball Today from CBSSports.com.
What's going on, everybody? This is an exclusive presentation of Fantasy Baseball Today for CBS Local Sports. I'm Adam Azer with Scott White and Al Melchior. Check out their hitting and pitching columns, fantasynews.cbssports.com, for all of your start-sit advice. We're going to tell you some hitters and pitchers to start and some to sit in Fantasy Week 20. You guys ready?
I am ready.
Danny Santana, Scott White, kick it off with this shortstop who needs to be started.
I never said I was ready.
Oh, well, yeah.
But I am. Let's go.
Let's
jump into it here. Danny Santana has come off the DL recently and continued to put up the power numbers he did before he went on. And that's really what I was skeptical about, because he hadn't shown that in the minors. And I'm not talking so much home runs as just extra base hits in general. He's really kept it up. We knew the speed was there. I'm still a little skeptical of the batting average, but I think as well as he's performing right now with the kind of matchups he has against the Astros and Royals rotations, he's a good bet at shortstop this week.
If you're looking for two-star pitchers on waivers, it's not the best crop of available two-star pitchers, but Al is recommending Tom Kohler, who has two good matchups.
Yeah, and Kohler's typical of a lot of the pitchers that are available this week, or in your league most likely available on waivers, that pitchers you might not normally trust, but because of their particular situation, they're actually pretty safe this week. That's true with Kohler. He's got a 2.45 ERA at home. Home starts against the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks, both pretty easy lineups for him to face. So a rare week when Kohler could have a big level production.
Astros first baseman Chris Carter has 3 multi-homer games in the last month entering the weekend, and we'll start him in Week 20.
We will, because he's batting .330 with 11 home runs in his last 26 games, and in a week where there are a lot of bad pitchers going, or lower half of the league pitchers, I guess I would say.
Politically correct, very good.
The Astros have the best matchups of any team this week. They're going against the Twins rotations and the Red Sox rotations. The toughest pitcher they're facing this week, I guess it's arguable, but it's either Kyle Gibson or Ruby De La Rosa. It's just a lot of bad pitchers. So I think he's going to be able to keep it up for at least one more week.
Shelby Miller has been picking it up lately. He's owned in about 80% of CBSSports.com leagues, and he has 2 good matchups, so you can start him in Week 20.
You can, and I think you can start Miller in other weeks where he's got home starts, because he's only allowed 5 home runs at Busch Stadium all season long. But regardless of where he's pitching, these are just 2 good matchups for him, the Marlins and the Padres, and the Padres actually happen to be at home. So it's a good week for Miller.
We look at the sits now for Fantasy Week 20, and we start with Pedro Alvarez, who's been in and out of the lineup. What do you think about Alvarez next week, Scott?
Well, while the Astros have the best matchups, the Pirates have the worst. Like you said, Alvarez has been in and out of the lineup recently. The Pirates recently named Josh Harrison an everyday player, and that was before McCutchen's whole situation. So we don't really know how the playing time is going to work itself out with Alvarez and Harrison with McCutchen down. But I have enough concerns that with Alvarez struggling, with the tough matchups, and then obviously the lineup situation, I'd probably avoid him. It's really bad matchups against the Tigers and Nationals. Just a lot of aces there.
Okay, Jesse Hahn has 2 starts. You know what? We don't care. Al says sit him.
That's right, and that one might be a little bit of a surprise, especially when you compare against the likes maybe of Tom Kohler, because Hahn's been mostly very good since being called up this year, but of late he's not really getting the strikeouts. Last 3 starts combined, covering 18 2/3 innings, only 9 strikeouts, and it's really not a coincidence because he's not getting the swings and misses anymore. More typical of what he did in the minor leagues. So I'm not really trusting Hahn going forward, starting even with this 2-start week.
Hey, Scott White.
Hey, Adam.
What should Curtis Granderson owners do?
They should sit Curtis Granderson. Let me throw you some numbers here. Last 16 games, Curtis Granderson is batting .133 against at home, where the Mets play all their games but one, I believe. He's batting .208 against right-handers, and you wouldn't think this because he's a left-handed hitter, but against righties, he's batting .218. That's a lot of low percentages. And considering the Mets have some tough matchups here, Doug Fister, Jordan Zimmerman, Steven Strasburg, Jake Arrieta, just to name 4 of the 7, probably should sit him.
Okay, we don't like pitchers who pitch at Colorado. Matt Latos has 2 starts. One of them is at Colorado, so for that reason, probably a good idea to sit Matt Latos this week.
I think it's a very good idea, even though, as you said, it's not necessarily the most robust crop of 2-star pitchers to choose from this week. Latos could be a disaster. He has made some small signs of progress, but the velocity's been down this year, the strikeouts have been down, and that Coors Field start is enough to scare me off completely this week.
That'll do it for this exclusive presentation of Fantasy Baseball Today for CBS Local Sports. That's Al Melchior and Scott White. If you want more advice, go to the website and check out their columns. We have a podcast you can listen to, and of course, watch our live show Monday through Friday, noon Eastern time. We'll talk to you next week, and good luck in Week 20.